We have a Capricorn full moon coming up. If you're in Australia like me, this will be on the 11th of July at about 6:36 a.m. And as you can see, it is at 18 degrees. So a full moon is when the moon and sun are opposite each other. So they're in their sister signs. So the moon is in Capricorn at 18 degrees and the sun is opposite in Cancer at 18 degrees. Now, it is in an earth sign, so we know that this is going to be about structures, reality, more of those earthy kind of Capricorn themes. So, money, career, reputation, those sorts of Capricorn materialistic things. But when we're talking about the moon rules Cancer, and it's very much about our emotions, our intuitions. So it is like a little bit uncomfortable here in Capricorn because it is opposite the sign that it rules, which is Cancer. This is known as the moon being in its detriment, which means it's opposite the sign that it rules. So essentially it means that the moon can't express itself fully and work its magic like the planet or a luminary, really wants to. It's not a full power, it's a bit uncomfortable. Now, Capricorn's energy, it is very wintry, cold, restricted. It is about boundaries, limitations, hard work. So the moon being here, it does feel really cold and closed off. It's not, as mushy and sensitive and caring as, say, Cancer, where it rules. So this can be a bit of a tough time when we have a full moon in Capricorn. It's a little bit harsher. Our emotions are probably more realistic and harsh. A little bit cold, a little bit detached. So I did mention that it's an earth sign, which, as I said, it means it's about kind of money, structure, earthly things, material things. And it's also a cardinal sign. So this means it's like the beginner, the initiator. It's the thing that starts the ball rolling with the cardinal signs. It usually reflects the seasons, so the beginning of winter for like Capricorn energy. Now, if we look deeper at the 18th degree, in a very simplistic way, it kind of links into like health and like challenges. So I feel like there could be some events that pop up around like health, maybe the healthcare system, those sorts of things. Also, obviously, 18 degrees, 1 and 8 makes 9. So the numerology number 9, completion, endings. And if we look at the decan, it's in a Venus decan. So this tells us that a little bit of this is about potentially relationships and money, those Venusian things as well. So it could potentially be asking us to look and check over things to do with, how much self-worth and value we're putting on our career, on our reputation, on our legacy. Those sorts of questions might pop up around this time. And also keep in mind that full moons are when the moon is illuminating. It's at its most visible point. It just illuminates the whole night sky so everything can be seen clearly for what it is. Obviously, it's reflecting the sun's light, but when there is a full moon, we can see everything clearly. Everything that's hidden in the dark becomes illuminated. So it's linked with endings, completions, people being able to see things clearly for what they are and finding out the truth. It's the end of a chapter, basically. So check where you have Capricorn and Cancer in your chart, especially the 18 degree point, anything close to that. And see, if it's making any aspects to your natal chart or what's happening in your natal chart. I do readings as well, so you can reach out if you'd like an astrology reading. The other thing that stands out about this Capricorn full moon is that there is a trine to Mars that's in Virgo at 13 degrees with this full moon, this Capricorn full moon. Trines are an ease of flow between the planets. It's very harmonious. They can exchange their energy really easily. So we like to see that. Mars is giving a lot of passion and action direction towards the moon and our emotions, especially around health because Mars is in Virgo. So things related to our health or even just the work and the duties that we do in our day-to-day career might pop up as well. We can take action and be of service to people, and that can emotionally be really rewarding for us, especially around our career and reputation during this time. Also, things like co-workers and pets can really help with situations during this full moon as well. Virgo does, and the 6th house do tend to link to those things and themes. And of course, that same Mars does sextile the Sun, sextiles the supports and opportunities there. The Sun is our ego, our identity, our vitality, our life force, how we're shining. And then we also have to look at Saturn because it is the ruling planet of Capricorn. So it's the ruling planet for this full moon. Now, Saturn is actually known as being in full when it's in Aries. It doesn't enjoy being in Aries. It doesn't get a chance to work to its fullest potential. Very similar to the moon being in Capricorn. Obviously, when the planet is in full, it is unable to work at its fullest potential. So Saturn being in a fire sign, as I said, it's not overly happy here. And Saturn at that 1 degree point in Aries is also squaring Jupiter in Cancer. It is a separating aspect, and it is getting to be quite a wide aspect. So that tension energy might not be felt as strongly, but it is still there in this Capricorn full moon. So there is this tug of war energy between being independent and responsible and leveling up and being mature within ourselves, but also struggling with tension because of expansion through home and family, or expansion and growth over our ancestry, of our lineage, of the lands that we belong to and were born on. The Cancer energy reminds me of our home, our lands, like the lands that we're born on, that we live on, that we're from. So the country you're born in, for example, those sorts of things. And it really has me thinking a lot about what's happening worldwide at the moment with, I guess, immigration and refugees, and how there's a lot of talk about this at the moment, and a lot of talk around this, and some anger and some frustration. People are questioning their identity, who they are, trying to, figure out, their culture, their how they fit into the world. And so they're having to make these big choices and be brave and fight for what they believe in, especially around their culture, their religion, their identity, their homeland, their motherland. It can be very patriotic energy. But that same Saturn that is the ruling planet for this Capricorn full moon is also conjunct Neptune, that has actually recently gone retrograde. So where Saturn likes those boundaries, Neptune's dissolving them and bringing in a fog and some confusion there. So there can be that energy with this full moon where things might seem a little bit confusing for us, and we might not really fully understand, how to be brave, or what we're fighting for, those sorts of themes. But Saturn is also getting a lot of support from the planet Pluto, that is also retrograde in Aquarius at 2 degrees, and also both Uranus, that's recently just moved into Gemini. It's literally still in the very early degrees of Gemini, and also a loose sextile from Venus that's there as well at 6 degrees, a very loose support there from Venus, but it's still worth mentioning, even though that's a separating and getting to be a wide aspect. It's showing that, Pluto in Aquarius, there can be supports through technology or tech, or even, protests and humanitarian acts, the internet. And then Uranus being in Gemini is showing that there could be some supports through social media, through news, through communication, again, innovations, technology here, and also women, because Venus is there, and maybe some financial supports or relationships that are really beneficial and offer a lot of supports and opportunities to Saturn there. Venus tries to bring some peace and harmony, and it's in Gemini, so it's people are thinking and talking and communicating, trying to find balance, trying to find peace and harmony, and trying to get that contract or that agreement negotiation happening. And also just keep in mind that with Capricorn energy, we're talking about being traditional, being hardworking, being reliable, being dedicated, focusing on material things like your reputation, your career, your legacy, the wealth that you've built. That's all those Capricorn themes, being a boss, being a CEO. So these themes might come up a lot close to this full moon, but it's a great time for releasing and letting go of things and reflecting on those Capricorn themes in your life and what you need to let go of, and where you've improved over the last few months.